commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Stark. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanju.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh, my God, you're such a good...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Good afternoon, everybody! It's your boy, Evan Hollywood. The Evan Hollywood Experience. Live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok. Make sure you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me out there. Tap in with the mods if you have any issues. Welcome to another high-powered show. If you can hear me, put a 1. Thank you, Bobby Ruffin. I see Reese. I see my boy Riaz. UK in the building. And let me tell you something. We're going to jump right to it. Am I the Insider? You see the Cardi B's album, Am I the Drama? Am I the Insider? What's up, Life with Kenya? Hundo Debo in the building. The Ivy League in the building. Am I the Insider? Make sure you're like coming in the door so they can push this live through the algorithm. We're fired up because, as usual, tea and announcements and information that I give y'all years prior. Shout out to my girl G, who helps me out a lot with that. Years prior starts coming to pass. And the whole thing is with the Nicki Minaj fans, they hate it. Even though I give them the most exclusive information that they're going to get anywhere. They hate the fact or who's giving it to them. They hate the fact that it's me. They love the message, but they hate the messenger. They hate the fact that I'm the one who sucks clit, sucks kneecaps, begs for follows, begs for likes. They can't give y'all nothing new. They can't give y'all no new information. They're just as clueless as y'all. They're supposed to be the Nicki Minaj insider. They're supposed to be the Nicki Minaj expert. And they can never give y'all nothing new. They can never give you no exclusive. They can't tell you when she's dropping. They can't tell you what she's doing. They can't give you no information. They just sit around and wait for Nicki to say something. They didn't tell y'all about her and 50 Cent's project. They didn't tell y'all that this documentary's never coming out. They didn't tell y'all that Nicki was sneaking off to Toronto and had to get flown back by Drake's private jet because she spent too long over there and was sneaking to his house 3:30 a.m. She didn't tell y'all that. I did. I told all y'all that. I told all y'all that information. But yet and still, you're mad because your faves can't tell you, your favorite page can't tell you these things because they too busy head bobbing and click knocking. They just suck Nicki off, but don't never have no valuable information for y'all. The one that has all the valuable information is me. It's me. But because I'm not a Nicki kneecap sucker, y'all hate to hear it from me. So what you do is you'll try to act like you blocked me, but then you go make a burner account and follow me, or make a burner account and go on the members only. So you could try to make it seem as though like you're not paying me any attention. But I know how many people's on the members only. And you hate the fact, and what you try to do is run back and tell Ashley Tragedy, oh, I heard Nicki's coming in March. You should make a video about that. Can you find out whether that's true? And Ashley Tragedy can't find that stuff out because she don't know. She finds out from sneaking around and getting her information from other people. But she can't tell you any inside information because she ain't no damn insider. You can't be an insider if you ain't on the inside. Duh. So all these people call themselves Nicki Minaj insiders. You can't be an insider if you ain't got nobody on the inside. How are you getting your information? So I told people, if you want, go back to my members only. And I got this news strictly from a person who worked, or at the time was working with Heavy on it. And I told people back then, do not expect an album in 2024. Do not expect an album in 2025. But you probably expect an album the top of 2026. So as we all know, Nicki Minaj yesterday tweeted or put out a date of, I think it was March 3, 27, 26. Which I assume and everyone else assumed is the date of her new album. Right? That's what everybody assumes. That's what I assume as well. The date of her new album. And what we were talking about in Instagram was, again, y'all hate y'all hate the fact that you have to come to me. You have to fuck with me. You hate that fact. You have to fuck if you want. Now, you don't have to. If you don't want the right information, you could just keep fucking with Ashley Tragedy or what's her name, August, and all these other people that don't know shit from Shinola. So if you want to keep getting wrong information, you're right. You don't have to fuck with me. But if you want the people who want the right information, they sneaking around in my bushes. Oh, block him. But then they go and make another account. See, they want people to think that they blocked me. But then they just go make another account. I know how many people paying for that members only. They can say all they want about, oh, don't go there. But then you go and pay for it. You just hide your name. Right? So don't worry about who's giving you the information. Just worry about whether the information is correct or not. Remember she talked about that documentary and I said there's issues with Meek Mill. Right? Then remember I also told y'all, remember that manager she had, Judd, or not her lawyer, the manager that's that big time manager that she had that was like in pop music and everything. Remember I told you that there was an issue with HBO Max where he ended up getting part of her intellectual property? And that's why when she fired him as a manager, she also fired that documentary because he had part of intellectual property. And when she fired him, he killed the deal with HBO Max. But I told y'all that. He killed the deal with HBO Max because he got part of Nicki Minaj's intellectual property for that documentary. So she had to wait a certain amount of time so she can get that back. That's the reason why the doc has never come out. But y'all didn't want to believe me. You didn't want to believe me. Then she tried to get it on Tubi. It would have dropped on Tubi. But then there's that issue with the dude, her former manager. So she cut out the Meek Mill stuff. That's a part of another reason why she has an issue with Jay-Z. Is because Jay-Z, of course, they were managing Meek at the time. And Meek was still out here making records, and they said that's going to be bad on its image. But I told y'all that. Didn't believe me. But here we are in 2025. Where the documentary at? It ain't came out, right? It ain't coming out. I told y'all that, though. So, where's the document? If she ever puts out a documentary, trust me, it's going to be a whole new documentary, probably taken from like 2022 on. It's not going to be the old stuff that she had. The stuff around Queen, around the hate train, and stuff like that. Now, the new album, I'm excited. She's spitting some real stuff like Lauryn Hill type album. I'm over her bubblegum sub dissing people. You're 43 times the bomb. This is a very interesting take, and I've been saying the same thing. Right? I've been saying the same thing, and I'm hoping Coco. By the time this album comes out in 2026, she'll be 43 at that time. When that album drops, I'm going to hope that she is taking your advice. I'm going to hope that it's still not the same Nicki. I want to hear some mature rap. That's like Usher coming out with Confessions again. Like, bro, you're still doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Beyonce's not still talking about putting on her freakum dress. So I have a feeling when this album does drop in 2026, like I told y'all it would, I think you're going to hear some involvement. Now, you're going to have to go to my members only for me to disclose the producer that I also told y'all she was coming back with. It's a producer from her first album. She's going to be working with that producer again on this next time. You're going to see a lot of less collaborations. You will get another Wayne and Drake song. But you're going to see a lot of less collaborations. She's going to start going away from, you know, Young Boy and Uzi, and you're not going to see too much of that. There'll be no more Eminem. From what I hear, she's done with the Eminem collabs. So I don't think there'll be no more of that. You know, Wayne and Drake is you know, there's going to be Wayne and Drake. There won't be another Bia collab. You know, one thing about Nicki, other than the men, other than Ice Spice, the Ice Spice thing kind of jaded her because she gave Ice Spice 2 songs and tried to give her 3. She tried to get on 3 Ice Spice songs. Kind of jaded her with the whole Ice Spice thing. So you're not going to see too many more people getting more than one collab from Nicki. I think she's kind of over the collaborations, especially if this is her last album coming up. The next album after that is going to be her first album not in a deal since what, 2010. So this would be the first time, after this album, this would be the first time that she was not sharing record money. Unless, of course, she signed some deal prior to that. But I believe that she's going to do something similar to what Megan Thee Stallion did, except, of course, she's more popular than Megan Thee Stallion, so she's going to get paid more from a distribution deal. If she goes out and does the same deal Megan does with Universal for distribution or Warner for distribution, whatever, of course she's going to get more money out of that deal. Number one, her discography is way bigger. Number two, she's a bigger artist. She's got more material. She's more popular. Right? So if she does a distribution deal, and like I said, I'll go into all of her options on my members only video. But she's not going to get nowhere near the deal Drake got. Right? Because she doesn't own her masters. You know, her masters won't come back to her till 20 years later unless she buys them back, which at this point is really a waste of time. But if she waits, 25 years? She'll be in her 60s, right? She'll be in her 60s. So, and she's a rapper. So if she's going to, because of the instability of rap music, Like, we don't know if 25 years from now, people are still going to be listening to rap. It's a good chance they may not be. People don't really listen to rock and roll anymore, right? So if she gets a good deal, if she can get a upfront amount from Warner or from someone else, where she can purchase at least half her masters back, the first portion of her music, the first portion where we got Starships, where we got Super Bass, those records, the you know, Moment for Life, records that will have a chance of extending through the years. Super Bass is going to last longer than FTCU. Right? Starships, because it's got that pop signature to it, those records will play way longer than, Yikes. So I do expect her to at least, if not the full catalog, at least try to repurchase half of her catalog, the first half. Pink Friday in the pink print. That's what she needs to concentrate on. She's trying to move from music into acting, podcasting, or something, Rihanna. So acting, no. Because she really doesn't like it. As well as she is. And Nicki is a pretty good actress. She's a pretty good actress. But she doesn't like it. Right? So I can see her doing a role here and there. If the role is something that doesn't take up too much of her time, or it's something that she feels though is good, right? She's older now. She's a mother, businesswoman. So I can see her, if there is a particular role that they're going to just throw a bunch of money her way to do it, I can see her doing it. But as far as her just saying, you know what, I'm like Latifah, nah. Like LL, nah. She don't really like acting like that. Even though she does it very well. Right? As far as I can definitely see, because the original plan was she was done with music. When this whole Cardi B thing started, and then the hate train, and then everybody playing their industry games, she was ready to say, F this. And remember, the Queen Radio thing was coming. Remember, she used to do Queen Radio shows every month. At one point, a missed of 2 months or whatever. That's what she was looking at. She was going to do the Queen Radio. But remember, something happened. Somebody already had Queen Radio. Some person, I don't know why they were calling this up, but somebody already had Queen Radio. So then she was going to do the Queen Network. She was going to do the Queen Network. 50 Cent was supposed to help her. I remember I told y'all that. And she was going to do, it's kind of like what Joe Budden is doing. Kind of like what Joe Budden was doing, but different shows, not just shows based around hip-hop or whatever. But something happened with that deal. So I could definitely see her revisiting that. Because Nicki's very entertaining. She can definitely carry a podcast. She's funny. She's funny. She speaks intelligent. Like, she's not out there talking ghetto. She can speak intelligent. I mean, she can get ratchet when she wants, but She's an intelligent speaker. She would have definitely a lot of stories that she can use on her podcast. Right? So, and she could play her her unreleased music, especially if she is out of that contract. She could play her unreleased music for her fans. And she can bring guests on her podcast. That if she asks people to come on her podcast, they're like, oh man, now Nicki Minaj podcast, they'll be running to her show. Because they know a lot of people will be watching. So if she wanted to do that, there is any platform out there would give Nicki Minaj a deal. Any platform out there will give her a deal right now. The only reason that she hasn't signed on for deal is because she's not done. She decided she wasn't done with music yet. And then when you do those deals, they have to give you a substantial amount of money, especially Spotify it wants to control your masters, right? Control your work. So the money wasn't right to her. I believe that's the only reason why. What type of video do you want her to do this new era? Me personally, I don't want no more super freaky girls. Right? I don't want those. I actually want her to start producing her own videos. Nicki Minaj is capable now. I want her to start doing more like Taylor Swift. I want her to start producing. I could totally see that. Only because I heard whispers about it a while ago. Remember, she's working with 50 as much as she can. So I definitely want to see her ideas installed into her new stuff. Because she's a creative person, and I would like to see her ideas on the screen. That's what I want to see. With some, little bit of acting installed. I want to see story-like videos. I don't want just like a camera filming her like yikes. I didn't like that. A camera just filming her and she's like riding around. I don't even know if yikes was a video, but I don't think she had a video for yikes. But I want a story-like video. I don't want no cheesy video with Coi Leray, with green screens and AI. I'm like, oh. Moment for Life was a nice video. Matter of fact, y'all could check out my daughter's channel. She just did a reaction to Moment for Life. And I thought it was very good. The first time she ever saw the video. So check out my daughter's channel, Patience is a Virtue, on YouTube. She just did a Nicki. If you look up Nicki Minaj reaction, Moment for Life with Drake, her face will probably pop up. So go check that video out. That to me is my favorite Nicki Minaj song, and it's my favorite video because it was a story, the storyline to the video. That's the type of videos I want to see. To answer your question, Darius, I know I jumped all around, but to answer your question, I want to see story-like videos from Nicki Minaj. That's what I want to see. We was going over on Instagram for all the Nicki Minaj fans. And like I said, if you have not joined the members only, go to the page and join members only. I'm going to be dropping a video later on about this new album and the information that I just going to reinnovate that I told y'all before. Now, We were saying, does Nicki Minaj drop enough music for her fans? And some fans were saying, yeah. Some fans were saying no. But when we look at her discography, she dropped Pink Friday in 2010. Hold on, let me share the screen. No. So she dropped Pink Friday 2010. She then dropped Roman Reloaded in 2012. Pink Friday Roman Reloaded 2012. She then dropped The Pink Print in 2014. So that's only like 2-year gaps. So that's perfect. The Long Wait was 4 years. The Pink Print, 2014 to 2018. And then we had the 5-year wait from Queen to Pink Friday 2. But as I said before, in between that time, it doesn't really seem like a 5-year gap, because in between that time, she put out the song with 6ix9ine. She put out the other song with 6ix9ine. She put out oh no, that was before Queen. So since it was the second song with 6ix9ine, she then put out Barbie Tings, Yikes. She put out the remix with Doja. So even though she did not put out an album, it still didn't feel like a 5-year wait, because she never really went anywhere. Then she was on social media. She got married. She had a baby. So she was still active, even though she didn't put an album out. Then she threw out the Beam Me Up Scotty remake. So even though it's Super Freaky Girl and then so even though she did not put out an album in 2023, it still didn't really feel like she was missing for 5 years, because she was still active, right? So the Nicki fans will be able to answer this better than me. Do you feel as though she puts out enough music, or do you feel as though it's right on time? And the reason why I asked that was somebody asked me in my Instagram DMs, they said, Drake got signed before Nicki. Why is he been done with his deal and she's still in her deal, and they signed the same amount of albums? And I said, that's because Drake was dropping an album every year. Drake dropped an album every year his first 7 years under Young Money. So that's why he got out of his deal so fast. Where Nicki averages 3 years in between. Because the person was like, I wish Nicki would get out of that deal. She needs to drop more music. But, oh, look at Drake. But then when you look at it, look at how they're treating Drake right now. And what do people say? Oh, we're tired of that. His music's tired. Oh, he burnt out. We don't want to hear it no more. And with Nicki Minaj, you don't really have to worry about people saying she's burnt out, because now she is older than Drake, right? She is older than Drake. But you don't really have to say, well, we're tired of her music, because she has done a good job in her career of spacing out her albums. At least I think she's done a good job. And 3-year average, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. You know what I mean? Darius says it's perfect. Well, Jazz, she ain't like Rihanna. And Rihanna ain't put out an album in a decade, so she definitely don't wait like her. She does a lot of collaboration between albums. Yes, absolutely. And my moderator says it's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad at all. Like when you compare her to other rappers, and you have to remember, even though it's 2025, Nicki Minaj still kind of moves, even though she's mid 2000s, she still kind of moves like an old school artist. She still kind of moves like an old school artist. Like old school artists didn't put, look at Adele. If you think Nicki Minaj fans are upset, what do you, poor Adele fans, man. Right? Poor Adele fans. So I believe that her spacing on her albums are perfect. You don't wait that, and especially now, she knew that it was going to be a little bit of a wait, between Queen and PF2 because again, she had some legal issues. She got married, she had a baby, so she had to be a mom, right? Then the transition with the whole Universal. Am I still on Young Money? I'm not on Young Money anymore. Am I still on what's that album, that label she's on under Universal? Republic. Am I still on Republic? Am I still on Young Money? Am I still on Cash Money? Where am I? So she was signed to 4 different labels before, now it's just 2. She's no longer, I don't think Young Money even exists anymore, and she's not in Cash Money anymore. So if she carries Young Money, it's just Young Money because that's what she wants to carry. She's always going to be labeled as, just like Drake, what Baby said, Drake's always going to be Cash Money. So even though they're technically not under Young Money, she's still going to rep Young Money because that's who put her on, right? And I respect that. I say that anybody who's put you on, you should never turn against them. That's why I would lose a lot of respect for Drake if he ever turned on Wayne. Right? That's the person. How do you turn on the person that changed your life? So the person that puts you on, right? My thing is, if they get mad at you or they have an issue with you and they put you on, to me, it's the person who got put on's job to make that right. I'm not going to be beefing with somebody who changed my life. Right? I'm not going to be, even though I changed my life. If somebody goes into the round and say, "Oh, you're a POS," if I'm Drake, right? Now maybe Drake's ego's too big for that or whatever. But no matter how big you get, even if you're bigger than Wayne in some people's eyes, there would be no you if Wayne didn't put you on. We don't know for a fact that somebody else was going to sign Drake. And if he would have signed somewhere else, now I'm sure he had other options to sign other places, but who's to say they would have did what Wayne did? Because remember, Drake said one of the reasons why he went with Wayne is because Wayne said, "I don't want you to change nothing. Don't change the way you dress. Don't change the way you talk. Don't change the way you walk. Don't change the way you look. Nothing. I want you to be Drizzy. All you just be Drizzy, and I'll take care of the rest." Other labels will probably like, "Nah, let's just change you. Make you a little more gangster. Change the way you look. Change the way you dress." Right? How can you change on someone who changed your life? That's my point. That's why I said, hey, it's me. That's my point. You can't. That's why, even though Wayne sold Nicki's masters, of course she was pissed. She was pissed. She felt betrayed. She stopped talking and fucking with Wayne for a while. She's still really not all the way back. She felt disrespected and betrayed that Wayne sold her masters. But she never publicly bashed them. So I give a lot of respect to her for that. She never publicly bashed Wayne. And that's because 50 Cent said, I'll never bash him. I'll never have nothing negative to say about him. Because even though they've had their differences behind closed doors, 50 Cent has never come out and dissed Eminem publicly. Now, they probably went to war behind the scenes, but they never publicly bashed him. And even though Wayne sold her masters, she never publicly bashed Wayne. Never. And I give a lot of respect for that, because how can you turn on somebody who changed your life? You know what I'm saying? Who changed your life? You can't. So that's why she'll always love Wayne. So I respect Wayne. And I just hope Drake does the same. I hope Drake does the same. All right? So looking at the discography, I think that is perfect. I think she has it spaced out perfect. And this next is going to be 2026. So that's another 3-year gap. I think that's perfect. Again, we're going to get more into depth about this upcoming album in my members only. Right? So, but I'm hoping for a different involvement. A change. Music changes all the time. A more, I want her to leave those other things behind. The beefs, forget that. Your legacy is set. So the only thing she can do to her legacy is it take a hit. Right? She's not going to get any higher than what she is. She's already, according to most people, she's already the GOAT of female rap. Now, you're going to have some people that say, no, it's Lauryn Hill, or no, but for the most part, most of the people, or a good majority of the people, will say she's the greatest female rapper. Now, again, I've heard Joe Budden say it was Foxy Brown. I've heard some people say it's Kim. I've heard a lot of people say it's Lauryn. Like, I've heard different names. I've heard a couple of people say it's Latifah. I've heard a couple of people say it's Light. But for the most part, most of them will say Nicki Minaj. Thank you, Earblug Vlogs, for the super chat. Truly appreciate you. PF2 was a distraction. She said it in fractions. So if PF2 was a distraction, that was a pretty good distraction. Now, me personally, I can see that being true personally, just listening to PF2. Because I was like, I was a little disappointed because I thought it was just going to be a better album. The 5-year wait, the stuff, I just thought it was going to be a better album. But if they're saying it was a distraction, hey, we'll find out. We'll find out. So in 2026, we'll see what this Nicki Minaj 6 sounds like. I'm hoping it's Pink Print 2, since now she has another few years of stuff that's happened. See, Pink Print was the personal album. Pink Print was the personal album. So now that some more stuff has happened over the years, I would love to get a Pink Print 2. It's like her second personal album. That would be nice. That would be nice. Right? Why would she not want to put out her absolute best every time she drops an album? I don't get it. I don't get it either, Marley, but I believe Vlog is a Nicki fan. So if she said that, I don't really remember fractions like that. But if she said that, we have to take it into consideration. But I agree with your take. Why would she not want to put it? And I'm not saying that she. And I don't think Vlog is saying that she tried to put out a bad album. But it was probably more along the lines of the album that she wanted to deliver wasn't quite ready yet. Right? But because it's been 5 years, I got to put something out. You know what I'm saying? So, because if you remember around PF2, she was playing a lot of songs that didn't make PF2. She had a whole bunch of songs. Right? She still got a whole bunch of unreleased songs that will probably never see the light of day. Because what people don't realize is when they go in and do these songs with these artists, when she does songs with Future, when she does songs with Uzi, do you know how many songs she got with Drake and Wayne that we'll probably never hear? Right? They probably do 9 or 10 songs every time that they are going to do a song together. And then they pick what songs are the best or what songs they feel as though they like the best. So she's got a whole lot of unreleased songs. She's got songs with Uzi. She's got songs with Future, Drake, Wayne, Young Boy, ASAP Ferg. She has a whole lot of records with those dudes. Old Swiss Beats records. When Swiss Beats produced the song on Pink Friday, they did like 5 records. Still got some old Swiss Beats stuff. She got Alicia Keys record. She's got another Beyonce remix. 7-Eleven remix. She's got a Drake and Beyonce record. But a lot of those records will never see the light of day. And she's not allowed to play them. She's not allowed to play them or to put them on a streaming platform. She get in trouble. Look what happened with Kanye West. She couldn't do anything with her record. With New Things, or what's it called? New Body. She could never put that out because Kanye West has the control over that record. So when this new album drops, I don't expect to hear none of that old stuff. I did hear she got a 50 Cent record, though. And not no remix, like it's a 50 Cent record. Right? So, should be interesting. She had a couple more Foxy records. Remember, her and Foxy was supposed to do an album. So she's got a couple more Foxy records, but she probably didn't like them. Like Foxy don't sound the same way she used to sound. So when she put out the what's that record called? I call it like the first Ruby. I call it like the first No Ruby the Sleeves or whatever she called herself. That record with Foxy Brown, I thought Foxy Brown was awful in that record. I'll say it. I love Foxy, but Foxy's best days are behind her as a rapper, and that's probably because of the hearing issue. But Foxy's best days as a rapper behind her, and I think Nicki kind of just like put that out as a, that's my girl. I'm gonna put her out there, try to give her some limelight. But she could not have heard that record and thought it was good. But Foxy was awful on that record. Awful. And I like Foxy Brown. I got every album Foxy Brown put out. But after the hearing incident, she hasn't been the same rapper since then. Right? Now, as far as this whole Cardi B 230K to 50, one person said 275 when it's all said and done. Nah, it's not gonna. It's not gonna. Now, of course, everybody's gonna say, "Well, you don't know what you talking about. You said it was gonna do 150." Well, actually, I said 155, and then I changed it to 185. But the fact that I got people, they acting like it's already over. Thank you again for a super chat, Earbug Vlog. Give a distraction and line them like fractions. Okay, so that's what Earbug Vlog is talking about. Yeah, I do remember that line. So you're taking it as she was talking about PF2. But Fractions wasn't that on Beam Me Up Scotty? Let me know. I don't even remember. But I get it. That's interesting, Tate. Would you like to see Cardi and Nicki come together? No. There's just two people that just wasn't meant to be cool. Because remember, they had a record together. They were on the same record. So I don't really know what it would prove. I don't think it would go number one because I don't think each other's fan bases will allow it to become number one. Because it's just been too much said, too much done. The fan bases hate each other. So, I mean, it's just sometimes two people that just ain't meant to be cool. And those are the two people. They're just not meant to be cool. Right? And that's fine. That's fine. You know, you don't have to like somebody to exist in the same space. Their problem has been two of them, they don't even want to exist in the same space with each other. And you don't have to do that. You can not get along with somebody, but just never talk about them, never make disrespect about them, like Prince and Michael Jackson. I mean, they got along okay behind the scenes, but Madonna and Cyndi Lauper, they've never gotten along. But Madonna didn't go and make Cyndi Lauper diss records, and she wasn't talking about Cyndi Lauper out in public. But she didn't really like Cyndi Lauper like that, right? A couple other people, Drake and YoungBoy, Drake and Nas. Like Drake and Nas don't really click like that. But he ain't dissing Nas, right? So you can still exist in the same space and just say, you know what? I don't fuck with that person. I'm not saying nothing about her. I'm not going to rap about her. I just don't mess with her. She's over there doing her thing. I'm over here doing my thing. I don't have to talk. I don't have to talk about her. I don't have to insult her, and she ain't got to insult me. We can exist in the same space because we both rap or whatever, both in the music business. But I don't mess with her. That's all. It don't always got to be about this one, this and that one, or she's this and Nicki. No, I just don't mess with. They just don't mess with each other, and that's fine. You ain't got to mess with everybody, but you shouldn't be falling out with everybody either. You know what I mean? There's people that I just don't mess with, but I'm not making diss videos about them either. Right? Like Ticket TV. I don't fuck with Ticket TV. I think he's corny. I think he's a cornball. I think he's a liar. I think he's a coon. But I'm not going out there making diss videos about Ticket TV. I just don't fuck with him. Right? So, as far as this whole, she's going to do 250, she's going to do 275, I don't think that's going to happen. But then again, like I said, the Cardi B fans are going to say, oh, well, I'm not listening to you because you said it was going to do 185. All right, well. And like I said, I got into it with somebody in my live. And I said, well, it didn't have anything to do with Cardi B. It had everything to do with her fans. Because y'all have really showed me nothing up to this point that made me believe she was going to do 275. I don't blame me, blame her fan base. Y'all showed me nothing that made me think that she could get over 200K. So if she does happen to pass Nicki Minaj at 228, and I see a lot of Barbs think she's going to do it because now they're like, oh, we don't care if she gets it. She's got a new album coming out. I'm like, yeah, you cared 24 hours ago when y'all thought she was going to do 150. But somehow I think it's going to be like 215 in there. 215. And then all the bars will come back like, you didn't get 2, but you thought she was going to get it. You were scared for a minute. So if she gets over 228, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. I'm not shocked because remember, I did tell people when I saw that rollout, I did tell people, you know what? Now that I saw this rollout, she'll do more than 155. I said 185. But I didn't expect everyone to pick up on the rollout like they're doing. So we'll see. I hope Cardi B does amazing. I like Cardi B. I'll gladly be wrong on this prediction. If they say, if she gets 275 or 250 and y'all want to say, her heaven, go, be my guest. Be my guest. But I'm only predicting. It's only a prediction. That doesn't mean it's written in stone, even though most of my predictions have been written in stone. Even though I've been right on like my last 5 predictions, but that's another day for another time. So it's not going to be 185. I'm obviously going to be wrong with that. So it doesn't even matter what I say now. I'm going to be wrong on the prediction, right? So the only thing I can say is she will not surpass, what was her first album? Invasion of Privacy. She will not sell as much as Invasion of Privacy. I'll just say that. I'll just say that. So shout out to Cardi B. The album is fire. I know a lot of you Cardi B fans hate to hear that, but let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. That album is fire. And I don't really listen to rap albums more than once. Right? I done listened to the album 4 times. And about to listen to it again. That's a good album, man. That's a good album. To me, I enjoy it way more than I enjoyed IOP. Way more. It's not even close. It's a better album. She's rapping better than she did on IOP. The songs are better. The production's better. It's just better. It's just a better album. Now, the Cardi B and JT thing, right? Let me find something. So, let me see what y'all talking about. Fire. Definitely better album. You was wrong about Nicki. No, I did not. No, I did not. You were wrong. I said, and anybody here, Darius, you're still here. What did I say Nicki Minaj was going to do? 223. I was off by 4K. I never said 175. No. I know you wasn't watching me. I know you was not watching me. Anybody. So I say from this, you can go back to the videos right now. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I said my exact number was 223. That was my final number before she dropped that album. I said 223, and she ended up doing 228. But if you can't F with it, that's fine. You don't have to like the album. That's cool. You don't have to. But nobody has to be wrong. That's just people's opinion, right? It's just like there's a lot of people who think that PF2 is her best album. I think it's her worst. I think Queen is her best album. A lot of people think it's her worst. So it's going to be different. It's going to be different opinions. To me, Queen's her best album, quality-wise. But there's other people. It's like you bugging. Queen ain't the Pink Print's her best. A lot of people think the Pink Print's her best album. Some people think Pink Friday's her best album, right? But if you don't like the album, that's fine. Not everybody likes it now, Jazz. Right? So you're not alone. You're not the only person who don't like it. So that's fine. If you don't like the album, that's fine. Because not everybody likes the album. I'm just saying I like it. I'm saying I like it. And at first, I didn't even like Invasion. I didn't like Invasion of Privacy for like the first year it was out. It wasn't until like the second year after I played it again, I'm like, all right, I can see what they're talking about. But this album right here that she put out, on the first listen, I was like, oh, this shit is fire. The songs are fire. But that's why we are all different. That is the beautiful thing about people. We all have different tastes. Some people think Rihanna's prettier. Some people think Beyonce's prettier. I mean, the apples and others. Some people like Kim. Some people like Foxy. Some people thought Prince was better. Some people thought Michael was better. Doesn't make anybody wrong. It's just their preference. Right? Some people like Usher. Some people like Breezy. You're not wrong if you say Usher's better than Breezy. You're not wrong if you say Breezy's better than Usher. That's your opinion. You know? My thing is that people come and say, "Oh, you're lying. That album was trash." How are you gonna tell me I'm lying? And it's my opinion. That's when I have an issue. That's like if they say, "Oh, I don't care what nobody say. Rihanna's prettier than Beyonce." Now you know you lying. How am I lying? It's my opinion. You can't be lying on your opinion. It absolutely would be okay for Nicki to have a known co-writer because we don't know how much that co-writer is writing. Nicki's had co-writers before, right? She's had co-writers before. And I went over this the other day, right? Y'all like when Tasha K, right? And I've always hated Tasha K. I don't believe nothing Tasha K says about nobody. But y'all, when Tasha K is going off on Cardi B, y'all say Tasha K ain't never lied. Tasha K, one thing Tasha K don't do is lie. Tasha K tell the truth. But then when Tasha K came out and said Nicki Minaj has writers and she writes 80% of her stuff, but I know some of the writers in her writing camp. Y'all didn't say Tasha K was telling the truth then? But all the other time Tasha K is telling the truth. Why then she wasn't telling the truth? I say she lied about everything. So I didn't believe nothing she said about nobody. But what I'm saying is you can't pick and choose. You can't say she's telling the truth about this person, but then when she says Nicki Minaj got writers, oh, Tasha K lying. Either she's a liar or she's not a liar. Right? Either she's a liar or she's not a liar. So there are people that help you out on a song. That don't make them your ghostwriter. That does not make them your writer. I believe the person is talking about, they got to be talking about partisan, right? So they asked partisan about, all y'all got to do is research it. Unless you're going to tell me that you think partisan's lying. So do you think Partisan Fontaine would take money out of his pocket on purpose? I don't think he would. So when they asked him about that, what did Partisan Fontaine say? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. So, Quentin Miller collabs with Drake. He is not Drake's ghostwriter. Right? I hate when people say that. Drake's ghostwriter, Quentin Miller. He writes with Drake. He is not Drake's ghostwriter. So here it is, right? Here it is. This is Partisan Fontaine talking about that old question, the elephant in the room.
10, 12 out of the 13, like some kind of influence there?
I bet. So let me put this out. I feel like there's no better place to put this out than right here. Cardi B writes her own music. You feel me? Like, she writes her own music. She has her own ideas, genuine thoughts. So, but me just being more seasoned in the rap, I can be like, I bet. Like, nah, this is a better way to say that bar. Change this bar out. Let him switch this around. So if I can help my friend,
steel sharpens steel.
Yeah, for me, if I can help my friend, why would I not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's somebody that she's comfortable with. This is her first time out. You feel me? Coming off a #1 record. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want people that you're comfortable with around you. So that's how that worked out.
Now, if you could say, well, he's just lying to cover for Cardi B, right? You know a way that you can go and find out that he's not lying? Or whether he's lying or not? Go to ASCAP. Go to ASCAP. Don't just look at credits and say, because remember, you see his name in the credits, but you also see who else's name in the credits. You see Cardi B's name in the credits too, right? So, in order for you to find out whether he's lying or not, you know how you can find that out? Go to ASCAP. ASCAP ain't gonna give nobody no free money. So, and I'm a member of ASCAP, so I can speak on this. How many songwriting awards do Cardi B have from ASCAP? Songwriting awards, right? If Partisan Fontaine was writing those lyrics, ASCAP would be giving him those awards. Ain't nobody, I don't care whether they friends with Cardi B or not, nobody is going to miss out on publishing checks from an artist as big as Cardi B. So if Partisan Fontaine was writing her bars, remember, bars are the are the biggest part of a song. Because most of the time there's 2 verses, and then sometimes there's 3 verses. So if Partisan Fontaine was the majority writer of her songs, all those ASCAP awards she's getting, he would get, not her. Because being a member of ASCAP, I'll tell you exactly how it works. For every song that you write that you want to get publishing on, whatever your publishing company is, BMI, I think Nicki's on BMI, ASCAP, whatever. When you submit your song to ASCAP, let's just take Up, right? Let's just take Up. If she submits Up, she got to submit a lyric sheet. Here's all the lyrics to Up. All right. Who worked on Up? Cardi B. Like, who's responsible for the lyrics? Not who's responsible for the lyrics on Up. Who's responsible for the production on Up, right? If you use a sample, what sample did you use? Because, before you record it, you got to get your sample cleared, all that other stuff, right? Whose sample did you use? Put down their name. Who's worked on the song with you? Jordan Thorpe, Beck Hallis, and you got to use their real name. Beck Hallis, Alan Mazar, Joe Schmo. Who cares, right? Another person. Okay. Now, on your next set of your form, the question is, how much percentage of this song are all the parties responsible for? And you have to write down on that form, Partisan Fontaine is responsible for 15%. So-and-so is responsible for 10%. This person is responsible for 5%. The beat, the sample, The arrangement. The songwriter, and this, I'm giving y'all game. The songwriter that is responsible for at least 66% of the song is eligible for an ASCAP award on that song. You just need to be responsible for at least 66% of the lyrics. So, yes, Partisan Fontaine gets a lot of writing credits, right? But he just sat and told y'all what he does. He said, I don't write bars for Cardi B. I rearrange a song. I might say, put this here. Like I told everybody the other day, he came up with nothing. We probably need them. No, they not. That part wasn't in Up originally. The second part of the hook, after she said, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up, up, and it's up. And then that second, bitches say they fucking with me. Probably they know they not. That Partisan Fontaine added that. So when you add that, they said that twice during the record. So when you add that, you're going to get a writer's credit. There's a lot of people. All you got to do is add one word. All you got to do is add one word. And you're going to get a writer's credit. All you got to do is change one phrase around. You're going to get a writer's credit. It's like Soulja Boy got a writer's credit on Beyonce's record. But he don't ghostwrite for Beyonce. But he got a writer's credit on it because she said, swag. Get my swag on. And Soulja Boy said that. So Soulja Boy gets a credit. It's a writer's credit. But that don't make him Beyonce's ghostwriter. Same thing with Miller. Quentin Miller. He came up with the first verse for Drake's song. He laid a foundation. Once he laid that tracking, first of all, Drake told him what cadence he wants. I want, what songs he got? Girl, talk about. He goes to Quentin Miller and says, I can't write this Rico joint right now. I'm doing whatever. I can't think of nothing, but I got to give Meek a verse. So if I tell you the cadence I want, can you come up with a first part of a verse and send it to me? And then I'll take it from there and then finish the verse out and do the second verse. Rap has been doing that since the beginning of time. Rap has been doing that since the beginning of time. So to answer your question, I would not have no problem with Nicki Minaj having a co-writer. I would have a problem if I found out she didn't write the bars for Moment for Life. Yes, I would have a problem with that. But would I have a problem if somebody said, you know what? You should say, don't worry about me and who I fire on the water, on the tire. Oh, sprinkle holy water on the empire. Add that. I'm not going to have a problem with that. If somebody says, oh, what about saying, I am the empire? Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that. Does that make her Nicki Minaj's ghostwriter? Because they thought of one thing? No. No. name the rappers that I know about, I can name you plenty of rappers. Wait, who said that? Hold on. Y'all ran with the Safari allegation for years. I don't know you saying y'all. I didn't run with no Safari allegations nowhere because I was in the studio with Nicki Minaj when she did that first album. So I know Safari didn't write it. I said exactly what Safari did It on him because I was right there. Safari's contribution to Did It on him was his ad-libs, and he came up with the line, and I ain't talking about Phoenix. Because Nicki didn't know nothing about sports back then. And she said, why would I say that? And then he said, the Phoenix Suns. She said, oh, the Phoenix Suns. So I wasn't running with Safari, nothing. I don't know who you talking about, y'all. Because I know for a fact Safari didn't write Nicki Minaj's lyrics, but he did contribute on that song. But he only contributed ad-libs, and he came up with the Phoenix line. Because she knew she had to start off all three verses with, all these bitches is my sons. So she came up with the first one. Then she went to the second line. She was like, I need to say something here behind that. And he said, and I ain't talking about Phoenix. And she said, why would I say, and I'm not talking about Phoenix? What does that got to do with Sun? He said, the Phoenix Sun, like the basketball team, the Phoenix Sun. And then and when he said that, she caught it, said, oh, okay, the Suns of Phoenix, the SUNS. And she used it. Again, I've went over the Tupac story forever. And if you ever run in the trench, ask him. I guarantee you if he says no, he'll have a smile on his face because he just don't want to put it out there and don't want to make it seem like people say, oh, so you mean Tupac that write his own stuff? But the song, again, If I Die Tonight, the first verse of Tupac's If I Die Tonight was written by Tretch. Ask him. Ask him. And if he doesn't admit the truth, he's going to smile like, nah, that was Pop. But If I Die Tonight was the first verse, not the whole song, but the very first verse of If I Die Tonight was written by Tretch. Right? But we don't take nothing from Tupac. Right? We don't take anything from Tupac. Look at this. Look at this. Quentin Miller is credited as a writer on the Nas song The Pressure from 2021 album King Disease 2. He has confirmed his involvement in the track and worked alongside Nas and producer Hit Boy, but he does not want to discuss the specifics of his contribution. He is proud to have collaborated with Nas and considers it a significant opportunity in his career. Did we hear anybody talking about Quentin Miller as Nas's ghostwriter? Did we hear anybody even mention that? Why don't people get on Nas? Why don't people get on Nas? There's Quentin Miller, the same guy that everybody said is Drake's ghostwriter. He's credited as a writer on Nas's King Disease. Why don't anybody get on Nas? Why is anybody saying Quentin Miller is Nas's ghostwriter? You see what I'm saying? Let's rate the $4.99 rule. Let me see. So anybody know if Billboard rules for the first week changed yet? Could have sworn they just made the $4.99 rule. An album can't be less than $4.99, right? So an album can't be less than $4.99 priced in the store. Well, no, not many stores, or online. Hold on, let me see something. Let me see something. Oh, Sylvia.
Hey there. How's it going? What's on your mind today?
Can you tell me about the $4.99 rule from Billboard that they just implemented about an album not being less than $4.99? And can you tell me how that works?
So Billboard recently introduced a rule that sets a minimum price of $7.99 for direct-to-consumer digital albums. This was done to prevent chart manipulation, ensuring that album sales more accurately reflect genuine consumer interest and not just artificially inflated numbers. It basically means that albums can't be priced below that amount to count towards the charts.
Okay, and when was that implemented in? Do you know?
It was actually implemented back on January 3rd, 2020. That rule was put in place to help ensure that album bundles were more accurately priced and to prevent artificial chart manipulation.
Thank you, my love. Appreciate it.
Of course, always happy to help. If you've got any more questions or need anything else, just let me know.
So there you go. So if Cardi B's album, right? If her album was less than, well, this person said $7.99, then Billboard will have to explain why they counted it. So now we have to remember, we don't even know if they're going to count it yet. We got to wait. We have to wait until they get filtered out. So we don't know yet whether Billboard is going to count it. But if Billboard does count it, because remember, they don't tell you about the filters until the last day, right? So if Billboard does count it, then they probably got some explaining to do. But we don't know yet if they're going to count it or not, right? We'll have to see. Jack said thinks he's selling 300. From your mouth to God's ears, Jack, I would love for Cardi B to sell 300K. I would love for any rapper right now. I would love for any rapper right now to drop and do those type of numbers. Except for Kendrick. I hate Kendrick. Not hate. I don't know him, so I dislike Kendrick. I wouldn't want Kendrick to do 300. Any other rapper drop. Hey, I hope they do big numbers. You know? But we'll see. Yeah, dislike. I don't hate. I don't hate them. I don't hate nobody, especially nobody I don't know. The only person I hate is the dude who finessed us when I was trying to bury my mother. That's the only person I hate. They finessed us when it came to my mother's grave. I mean, came to my mother's homegoing service. They got more money out of us than what the other person would have charged. And so I hate that person because he lied on my mother, lied on my dead mama. He lied on my mother and said that she said, oh, your mother wanted such and such. And because we couldn't confirm it, and then my dad was a preacher, so he didn't want to call the man a liar, but he knew that my mom was close with his wife. So he was like, maybe she did say that. Maybe she did say when she go, she wants him to do her funeral. But then we found out later on that the nigga was lying, and he just finessed us out of a couple of more grand. We ended up paying close to 12 grand, 15 grand for my mother's funeral, when the dude that was going to do it was going to do it for like 10 grand. So because he came right up at us, as soon as my mother's took her last breath, here go this nigga. Of course, he was black. His nigga popping up. Oh yeah, what about the homegrown? Damn, nigga, like can you? Her body ain't even cold yet, and you talk about some homegoing services. But that's black people for you. They try to get you at your most vulnerable point. Hey, that's not possible. Jealousy is a disease that you can't get rid of, and adding hate to it is worse. These are celebrities that they don't know. Just imagine how the jealousy is for people they know. That is true. That is true. It's like, I can't hate a celebrity. There is not one celebrity that I hate, especially I don't know them. Now, I dislike a few celebrities, but it's because of something that personally happened to me. There's no celebrities out there. I don't like Kendrick, right? But I don't know him as a person. I don't know him. But there's a couple of celebrities. There's a few celebrities that I've met, and I may have had an issue with them, or they may have did something to me business wise or whatever, and I don't like them. I don't f with them. Like Warren Sapp. I don't fuck with Warren Sapp. I don't fuck with Chris Carter. I don't fuck with the girl from Get Rich or Die Trying, the one that played 50's girlfriend. I don't mess with her. But that's some business stuff. So I don't mess with them. And then there are some celebrities that I had a very good experience with that I'm always gonna mess with them, no matter, unless they do something to me. Like Kim Kardashian, I'm always gonna fuck with Kim K because Kim K looked out for me. I'm always gonna fuck with Jay-Z. Jay-Z looked out for me. Kim looked out for me. So I'm always gonna fuck with them. Until they do something to me. Y'all can talk about Jay-Z all you want. You ain't gonna talk about him on my watch. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna talk about Kim on my watch. And that's from personal experience. Diddy, I had nothing but good experiences with Diddy. No bad business experience. He ain't never not pay me. He ain't never tried to jerk me for no footage. Like, he ain't never tried, oh, no, you can't get that. You can't get that. The only thing he asked was the stuff that I filmed in his house, that before me and my brother leave, we give it to him. And he'll pay us for it. He never not paid, he never not sent no check. He never not gave us our money before we left. He never tried to jerk us out of the interviews that we got. I had nothing but good experience with him. Jay-Z let us use his club for our teaser, for our movie, Disciple. He let us use 4040. And back then, wasn't nobody able to rent out the whole club. He let me and my brother and Tanya Thompson and the girl from the Bronx Tale. She was in our movie. And Belly. What's her name? What's the girl from Belly and the dark-skinned queen from Belly and the Bronx Tale? Whatever. He let us rent out 4040. We showed our trailer, and he didn't even make us pay. And he shut down the whole club for 3 hours on a regular night. And I'm like, yo, that's cool, because he wasn't doing that for nobody else. But he found out, he didn't know that we were black. He didn't know that me and my brother was black. At first, he was going to charge us the time because it was a regular night. But then when he found out that we were black filmmakers, he was like, oh, so y'all the Clark brothers? And then he said, you can use the club to 11. Started at 8, went to 11. He said, all you got to do is tip my bartenders. You don't got to pay the fee that I usually charge. Just tip my bartenders. So I ain't got no problem with Jay-Z. Sorry that y'all don't like him. I fuck with Jay. I fuck with Diddy. Free Diddy. I fuck with Diddy. I did 5 parties for Diddy, got paid all 5 times, and he even let me get with and he even introduced me to Gina, the same Gina that's by his side right now. I got pictures with Gina Young, or Gina Young, or Wang, whatever her name is. I put them pictures up already. I got pictures with Gina. Gina was cool. Terrell Hicks, thank you. Terrell Hicks. But shout out to Gina, man. So anyway, y'all, I want to thank you for tapping in. Am I the Insider? That's my new tag. Am I the Insider? We all know that I am. For all the members only, y'all remember, I'll be dropping a video before he was found not guilty. Every posted about him at one point. Everybody had a story to tell. Now you can hear crickets. Exactly. Nobody got no stories about Diddy no more because they know it was all bullshit. Free Diddy. All right. Anyway, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all check out the videos on the IE Network. Go sub to my daughter's channel, which is Patient CTV. She just did a reaction to Nicki Minaj's Moment for Life, which is my favorite song by Nicki Minaj. It was her first time seeing the video, so she got a kick out of it. I believe that's it, y'all. Thanks, Jax. I appreciate you. Thanks, Jazz, Sexy60. Gave you that name, Playboy. I fucks with Diddy, man. I fucks with Diddy. He never done nothing to me, so I have no reason to dislike him. I ain't had no reason to dislike the dude. He ain't never done nothing to me. He ain't never done nothing to my daughter, my sister, my mama. Whoever got jerked by Diddy should have read your contract. That's all I can tell you. French Montana looked like he doing all right. He read his contract. He read his contract. French Montana's still a millionaire. Still sitting up in Selena Gomez's mansion. You see, he ain't had no problem with Diddy. If you have a problem with Diddy, if your contract was fucked up, read your contract. That's all I can tell you. It ain't Diddy, it's you. It's you. You the one that allowed yourself to get jerked. Right? The small print. You know how Sexy 60, you know how them commercials when they be like cut down. All you need is a job, right? All you need is a job. Come down, $200. Leave with any car you want. We're having a special sale down here starting Friday at 5 p.m. $200 is all it takes, and you can leave out of here with the car of your choice. And so that, right? Now, when they're saying all that, you're like, oh shit, all you need is $200 and a job. And you can pick any car you want. Meanwhile, while you're saying that, on the screen, this real small fine print down there that says, subject to credit approval. But they don't say that. They don't say that they don't say that on the screen. They just say $200 and a job. You like, all I need is $200. Yo, I'm going down there. And then at the end of the commercial, Sexy 60, they go, credit approval. But you on your way out the door already. Thank you, Jazz. Love you, Jazz. You on your way out the door already, and you didn't hear him say, credit approval. That's the fine print. That's the fine print. Oh, man. All right, I love y'all, man. I'll see y'all next time.